So we're going to pare this down. If you have half a bottle of ivory soap or whatever you use, and you have another bottle back in the back that you didn't grab, combine them. Try to reduce your product so you don't have as many containers underneath there, and use up your products, and then go and find a product that you can have more multiple purposes so that you don't have to have all those containers under there and taking up room. This area also has your dish towels, washcloths, sponges, your dish drainer, and maybe your trash can. So usually the location of this is underneath your sink, but you can find other areas in your kitchen as well. Because I have younger kids, I have an upper cupboard that's high that I keep my cleaning product in. You know, because even if my kids are 9 and 11 now, and they're not that young and they don't get into it, but you know, it's just nicer if I have little ones there. I don't have to worry about that cupboard, and it makes it nice. And I use, so under the sink is where you usually have your cleaning products, and a drawer for your dish towels and cloths. Okay, number H. It's a 2-drawer mini informational center. Okay, this consists of 1 drawer for your husband and 1 drawer for you. Now, if there's anything that someone has, the gals that have come back to me and say, I love this. This is one of the things that they absolutely love, because the one for your husband is for his wallet, his keys, his mail, his paperwork, all those things that he piles in your kitchen that just like that big blob when he comes home. Well, you know, all he has to do now is pull out a drawer and puts that blob in there, and my kitchen still remains clean. No longer does my husband say to me, I can't find my keys. I said, they're in your drawer, dear. You know, it just works out really good. And so for me as well, I have a drawer for my keys, my wallet, and then I have a little mini type organizer in my drawer. Now, you could get all different kinds of these organizational drawer dividers. And so then I have it with my paper clips, the scissors, the pad of paper, all those things that is for the family that they need to get into all the time. This is it. You just get one of these or get a different kind. And so they know where the scissors are. Mom, where's the scissors? It's in the informational drawer, and I don't have to ever tell them again because they know right where it is. And you want to make sure when they borrow the scissors, you say, Johnny, can you please put the scissors back where they go? So no longer are you running around the house trying to find the scissors when they've gotten lost. And so you just train your kids to put back things where they got them out, because there's going to be a logical place when you're done with this class for everything that you own. Also in my drawer, I keep my master calendar for my family, my day timer, which has all my to-do list in it. It's my brain, and my telephone book. So this is all, it's like that informational. So if the kids use my telephone book, they have to put it right back. When we have family things that we need to do, we write in here all the appointments. We put the kids' school things that they have to do in red ink. Anything that has to do with my husband, Mark, I put it in blue ink, and anything that has to do with me or the whole family goes in black ink. So I can just open up this in the beginning of my day and say, okay, this is exactly what I need to do. We never miss appointments this way, and it works out really good. So it's just an idea. Okay, so we have talked about the basic centers now. That's a kind, and you could come up with some ideas for your own centers. There's other kind of centers that you might find that you need, such as like a homeschooling center. You know, sometimes we get our drawers and kitchens all cleaned out, and there's no place, you know, to have the kids' schoolwork, and so you might want a cupboard for their homeschooling, or you might come up with a different center that you might find. We're going to talk about some more ideas later. Use your prime spaces in your kitchen for your most used items. The things that you don't use very much, give them cupboards that are lower and back further so you're not rummaging through the things you don't use very much, just common sense. When we all have different kitchens, there's no set rule how to organize your kitchen. It's just a matter of getting it all cleaned out, keeping the things that you use all the time. So you're going to have to customize this, but this will give you a good handle on how to do it. If you have a small kitchen, reduce to the basics. And I know we always think, well, one day I'm going to have a big house, I don't want to get rid of all this stuff. Well, then box it up. You know, box up that pasta maker or that one specialty gadget that you don't use very much and save it. But don't cram your kitchen so full that it's a frustration to you trying to always use it. Okay, there's another method for you diehards. This method is emptying out all your kitchen cupboards at one time into your kitchen, onto your kitchen floor. Now, some gals think this is just the way to go. I find it too overwhelming because really, when you're really going through each and every cupboard, and I'm putting back the keepers, after all the stuff I know I want in there, then I analyze the centers, and then I just move them to different cupboards where I think it should be. But some people like to go bring everything out, scrub all the cupboards out, look at the item and say, okay, do I want it? Okay, where do you think it should go? And then they place it. So it's up to you, whichever way works for you. Okay, let's talk about kitchen items and ideas. These drawer dividers are really wonderful for your silverware or different purposes. Spices, these are great for spices as well. If you do not have built-in drawer dividers, they have these in a mesh, wire mesh. They come in all different kinds, but these you could get at Target, Fred Meyer, all different places, and you could get these. I usually try to get white because I want to see if it's clean. And you know how it is when your silverware drawer and you have like tons of breadcrumbs in your silverware drawer. And you have enough to make next year's stuffing for the turkey. So go ahead and bet them. You'll have some later in these anyways later. So I usually like the white ones because I can really see if it's clean. And these are good. And they have all different sizes, and you can fit them according to your drawer. Tea towels. I personally do not ever buy terry towels because you can't dry dishes with them. And so I buy tea towels, the kind that you dry dishes off with. I buy like 7 at a time. They don't cost very much, and I usually try to buy a solid color or a dark color because why? Because they stain up really quickly. And so I like tea towels the best. Pot holders. You know, you just open your drawer of your pot holders and you take one good whiff of that pot holder drawer. You guys know what I mean. You know, they get grease on them. We don't wash them enough. You open that drawer and that rancid grease smell just comes at you. And then what do we do with our pot holders? Oh, honey, go put this on the table because Mama's going to set a casserole. And then Mama's casserole doesn't smell so good because it's got this thing sitting underneath it. So go through your pot holders, get rid of them. They don't cost very much. I always try to buy black, like black underwear. They don't show the stain. And it works. What a great analogy, huh? Also, I use washcloths. And these are cheap and nasty at Target or Shopko. They're, what, $3 for these guys? If I stain them, I don't care. And I use them for everything. And I just go through probably 2 packets a year. So I don't bother buying those nice washcloths that you buy, you know, the ones that you have to wring them out with 2 hands. That's frustrating to me. When I'm washing my kitchen, man, I'm in a hurry to get out of there as fast as I can. And so I just want to wring that wash machine quick with 1 hand, and these are cheap and nasty enough that they're thin, and so they work really well, and I really recommend them. Sponge holders. Sponges are something that we use a lot in kitchens, but they can really get the goobers in them. And what did the goobers grow? Bacteria. So it's very important that these things get dried out at night. And so I'd really recommend like a little basket thing. You could get them in plastic or metal. I just take these guys off and have my husband just screw it into underneath my sink. So at night, I put this in there, and it keeps it where it can dry out so it doesn't get that rancid smell. You know when you go to someone's house and you know they're really clean, but they've got the smell happening in their kitchen. And you know that it's this, you know. And so, and you might be a really clean person, but you've got this smell, and you get so accustomed to this smell, you don't even realize your house doesn't smell good. So you want to make sure that you keep these sanitary. You want to put them in bleach water often. You want to get rid of them often. They're not very much money. So what if you buy $5 or $10 of sponges a year? That's not very much considering, you know, I don't know, what am I saying? So, I don't think it is. So you want to be careful with those. Your baking drawer. I like metal and glass. I'm not a plastic person, and I started laughing about this the other day because I thought, I'm not a plastic person. I own so many of these jolly Sterilite containers. I cannot believe it. And I thought, I don't really like plastic in my kitchen, and so I buy everything metal or glass. The reason for that is I buy these one time, that's it. I don't have to go out and buy any more plastic spoons. The plastic spoons get scratched up, you put them in the spaghetti sauce, and all of a sudden they're pink, and, whatever. So I spend the extra dollar and buy metal measuring cups and measuring spoons, and you could get those Target anywhere. You're going to think I shop at Target all the time by the time I'm done. I know I was the other day teasing, trying to quote Proverbs 31. I said, a wife of noble character who can find, she shops at Target all the time. And I was in here doing this before the class started, and the pastor was in the other room, and he goes, who is that woman up there? I thought, oh no, I don't think I met him by that time. I thought, oh no. Anyways, you want to go through your baking drawer, go through your utensils. If any of it needs to be replaced, replace it at this time. If you have too many duplicates, go ahead and reduce those. Like your cooking drawer, you have your wood spoons in and all that. I really recommend bamboo spoons. Bamboo spoons, you can put them in the dishwasher and they won't crack on you. Wood spoons, they will crack on you, and when they crack, we keep using them, and what happens, they have bacteria in those cracks and those goobers, but bamboo spoons don't do that. I know, beware of the goobers. So anyways, I really recommend bamboo spoons. When you go in your cooking utensil drawer, you want to get rid of all those whatchamacallits and thingamajigs. Because if you don't know what they are for, you might as well go ahead and biff them. Especially with our cooking drawer, you put 2 spoons in there, they're like bunny rabbits. You put 2 spoons in there, and the next day you've got 5 wooden spoons, and you don't even know where they came from. So you have all these duplicates. So be realistically thinking, okay, I'm washing the dishes every day. Do I need 10 wooden spoons? You probably don't. So pare down. I feel funny talking to you about cooking things like I'm this cooking expert. I'm not. I just know different things that I like. I like these scissors. These are great for chopping up chives, cutting up chicken. These are really nice to have in a kitchen. And not a lot of kitchens have scissors in them. And you'd be surprised how much you would use these. And they don't cost that much, and they're wonderful. Spice drawer. You want to go through all your spices. Now, I know if you're like me that you've had spices in your cupboard for over 10 years that have been sitting there and we don't get rid of them. And we think, oh, surely they're good for another 10 years. But realistically, you want to go and know how it is. Grandma passes you her old spices that she's had for 10 years, and we get all these spices. So realistically, go through your spices. If you have not used those spices in the last year, you're probably not going to use them. Go ahead and biff them. You could put them on a Lazy Susan, or you can also, one gal in one of my classes told me, she couldn't keep them organized, so she just labeled them alphabetically in these, allspice, nutmeg, and it just said allspice alphabetically, and she has them all lined up in her cupboard. And I thought that was a great idea, because sometimes spices you're digging through and you can't find it, and you're always pulling them all out. This way she knows exactly what is in this. She pulls it out, uses it, puts it right back in the same spot. It was a good way of organizing it. Or you might want a spice rack like something like this, where it's a tiered, layered thing where you can see all the labels. This is great for canned goods as well. Or you might want a Lazy Susan and put all your spices on a Lazy Susan, so you just twirl it around and be able to see it. Usually I always try to put them alphabetically. That way you put them back alphabetically and it works. I don't recommend spice racks out on your wall, because if you want to reduce your cleaning, you come in your kitchen, you go in some people's house that have the spice racks out, and all that airborne grease, because it's near the stove, has gotten on it, has that little layer of brown on top of the lids. And so you're always scrubbing those things down. I'm trying to reduce my cleaning. So I just think, if it's in the cupboard, it's not going to get that way. So that's the logic behind it. I have a drawer for your Ziploc bags, your foil, your wrapping, your saran wrap. That's pretty logical. Candle drawer. My family, we eat by candlelight every single night. And I like it. It calms the family down. We were raised that way, where we ate by candlelight every single night. And it was our family time to be together. We were never allowed to take phone calls during that time, and the TV was off. I personally don't have a TV, but, I want to encourage you to keep your time your evening time with your family as a precious time to have interaction with one another. And by having a candlelight dinner, whether I'm eating, well, I need all the help I can get. So if I have candles, it makes my food look gourmet. But my son says not. He says, I know why you have candles, Mom. And I have this dimmer switch. I said, why do you think I have candles? And he goes, because there's vegetables in this food and we can't see them. I said, you're right. He goes, I know what you're up to. But candles are not that expensive. I go down to the dollar store, buy, 5, 6 candles for $1. I could buy $10 and feed my family for months eating with under candlelight. And so I really recommend using candles. And so I have a candle drawer. Or if you're in that baby bottle stage, get a baby bottle drawer. Keep it simple. Don't have your baby bottles laying in all the different drawers. Condense them, put them together. The concept is having it all together, logical places. Paper goods. We did a gal that had a house that had 6 kids. And so she eats with paper goods. We in America, for some reason, like to eat with paper goods a lot. I think it's because we don't want to have to do the dishes. And so we just took a Sterilite container. What size did we use? I think we did this. 15 quart, we put all her her paper goods in it because we ran out of drawer space, and we put it in the pantry. Now you could stack these up in your pantry as well, these 32 quarts. She had so many kids, and the jars weren't good for her, so we put all the cereal in these, or all the rice, and had a scoop in them, and these work out perfect that way as well. Cookbooks. I don't have any. Not really. My husband gives them to me all the time. I have yet to read them. And so I biff them all the time because I haven't used them last year. It's gone. And do I like it 70% worth? No. He has to pray harder for me. If you don't use your cookbooks, or you have tons of them, it's best to put them in your cupboard because those too can be a clutter type situation. And so find a good cupboard spot for your cookbooks. If you don't use them, give them away to someone that likes to cook. Or also another way, because our cookbooks are cooking sheets, if you're one to pull out recipes all the time, get a 3-ring binder and keep putting them, plug in the holes in them and put them in a binder. That way they're together. If you're one that gets Gourmet Magazine, get another large 3-ring binder and put the hole punches in so they're all together, and it makes it more convenient for you. Tupperware. I know. Okay, you want to match all the lids to the bottoms. Then you take your trash can and you place it way over there, and you get your family in, and you all have a Frisbee contest, seeing if you could biff the rest of the containers that don't match, have matching mates. Medications are commonly put into the kitchen. And so I talked to a pharmacist, and she says she doesn't recommend that you ever put medication in where the temperature changes a lot in a room. A bathroom is not a good place for medications at all. And sometimes kitchens are not a good place. So you might want to find a closet or something that you might want to put your medications in. Because my children were young, I used one of these, and I just put it up in the closet, and it worked out great. Now that they're older, I put it in another area. But if you want it in the kitchen, you could put it on the Lazy Susan, or you can find a specific drawer for it. Put all your vitamins together, and put all your medications in another container separately. And go through your prescriptions and make sure that they haven't expired. If they have, you want to dispose of those. So let's break some traditions. Paper and plastic bags. Do you have the umpteen paper bag syndrome in between your refrigerator and your cupboard? I will not make you raise your hands. I was raised that way. I don't know what it is. We keep all the bags and we save them, and we just have tons of them. And I've seen many kitchens that I've gone in to clean out have a whole cupboard full of paper bags and plastic sacks. I said, what are you saving these for? And she goes, I don't know. She goes, my grandma did, and my mom did. And she's single, and she had like 75 bags. And I said, isn't that funny how we do things that our mom did, but we don't really see, we don't know the logic behind it. We just do it because that's what we saw. So let's break that tradition. Get rid of those paper sacks and bags and only keep realistically what you really are going to use. How about the butter? Do you keep your butter out of the refrigerator sitting on the counter or in the cupboard? In America, we do that because we like our soft butter. But we really don't think about it that our butter is going rancid not being in a refrigerated or cool place. And so because we have so many preservatives in our food and here in America, we don't really realize that our butter is off. So it's really important to keep our butter in the refrigerator. I know that's, I would say when I go in and clean homes, that's the number one thing that husbands are like growling at me, that they don't like that. And one time I was cleaning this guy's house, and very formal family, and we're all sitting there, and the butter was hard. We had been cleaning all day, and so they invited me to have dinner, and I told them, I said, well, it's easy. I said, you just scrape it, just shave it off. And I said, it's just easy. And I go, see? And I go, I want it like this. And the butter goes flying across the kitchen. Well, I'm such a goofball, I thought it was hilarious, I didn't care because I've been cleaning the house all day. Well, he did not think it was funny, which made me laugh harder. I don't think he knew what to think about me. I don't think I got paid for that job. No, but we have fun. Mugs. Let's talk about your mugs. Do you have a lot of advertising mugs? We do. We have tons of them in our, you go in there and you have 3 of your good ones that are still not chipped and halfway decent, and then we have like 10 or 15, maybe 20 of these advertising mugs that we've gotten all over the place. Well, there is nothing worse than when you ask your friend, would you like a good cup of coffee? And then you serve it to her, and it's in Al's sewer service mug. It just doesn't somehow taste right, And so I really want to encourage you to go ahead and give the thrift shop your advertising mugs. And I know your husbands are going to be saying to you, don't get rid of my mug. That's Schweitzer Mountain, or whatever. Well, those are the items that you put in there, his memory box. So until he can part with some of those advertising mugs. Mugs don't cost that much, so go ahead and buy yourself some matching mugs. You'll enjoy it. How about vases? Am I hitting some hard areas? How about all those flower vases? From all those flowers that you have received over the years, the flowers are dead and gone, but you have kept all those perfectly good vases that you're going to use someday. But now you have about 25 of them in your cupboard, and you've not used any of them, because you just keep getting more flowers. Who's going to, So this is the time to go ahead and give them away to the thrift store. Half the time they don't want them because we have so many here in America. So why don't you just find a good florist shop, give them to her, let her make some money on them again. Or we had one of the classes that we did, a whole bunch of the gals got together. They brought all their vases together. They went down to the flower mart in Spokane, bought a whole bunch of roses, put them all in the flower vases, and went to the hospital and distributed them to the patients. And I thought, right on, that's a good way. And that was calling what we say, bless someone else with your excess. And I thought, what a great idea. Well, let's talk about some cleaning tips. The motto in what we like to say is, don't put it down, put it away. Teach your husbands and kids this wonderful rule. It will help you out tremendously as you're trying to clean out your home all the time. Let's talk about your refrigerator. When you are low on groceries, get in the habit of cleaning out your refrigerator. That's a perfect time for you to clean out your refrigerator. So right before you go grocery shopping, just scrub that thing down. You want to wash it down with warm, sudsy water. Baking soda is really great if you take off the lid and put it in your refrigerator. That helps deodorize your refrigerator. Replace that light bulb that cost only $2 so that you can see if it really is clean. Because they're called appliance light bulbs, and they're not that much. And a lot of times I go into homes, you'd be surprised how many refrigerator bulbs are broken, and they can't see in there. And so, okay. You're going to pull out your drawers as well. I didn't think I was going to tell you this, but I decided to. I was cleaning out my refrigerator this week. I usually try to do the homework with you guys. I clean out my closet. I'm going to have to clean it out again now that I know that good tip. But I clean up my kitchen as well. It doesn't take me very long because I've done it so much, but I try to keep up with what you guys are feeling throughout the week, and it gives me more insight of what I'm going to teach you. I had this prehistoric fossil in the back of my refrigerator. Who knows how it got back there? A sandwich. And I started laughing at that. Of all things that I would have in my refrigerator, I thought, oh, isn't that just great? So I can relate to you guys. I get it in my refrigerator as well. You will be surprised when you pull out all those drawers what you find underneath those drawers. So you want to clean them out good because bacteria starts growing when those things are in there. When you have kids, you could just blame it on them. Also, you want to turn all those labels facing you if you're visual. Get a system down. I have a system where all the pickles go, all the perishables, all the bread. I have a system to where so I always know what I'm getting low on, because if it's not in that spot, then I'm getting low on it. And that really helps me to stay on top of it. You also might want to, this week, have your husband help you pull out the refrigerator and clean underneath your refrigerator. That is an area that you'd be amazed how much dirt, because that unit starts sucking up, and all that fine dust in your kitchen goes up underneath there, clogs up your refrigerator vents, or whatever they're called, that grid thing, and it reduces the efficiency of your refrigerator. You're going to find probably your kids' toys under there, money, if that's an incentive to go pull it out, whatever. But you need to do that at least 1 or 2 times a year. How about the freezer? Personally, I almost use all my freezer food every 3 to 4 months. I just have that as a rule of thumb in my household. Because a lot of times you think about it, we buy all this freezer food because it's on sale, and then we just keep shoving it in there, and we buy more, and we keep putting it in there, and then we have all these leftovers that we have, and we put those in there. And if you really open up your freezer, there's all these unidentifiable objects in there, and you don't even know what they are. So you want to go ahead, anything that you cannot figure out what it is, biff it. It's really wise to, when you put a leftover product in your freezer, you want to just mark the date on it and what it is. That way you'll know if you need to pull it. I always try to clean out my freezer as well before I restock it. According to the Consumer Guide for Food Quality and Safe Handling, frozen food lasts up to 3 to 12 months, depending on the type of food. Prepared meats and meats can go off quicker than others. So remember the number one question, have I used this in the last year? If you have not, it's probably time for you to biff it and start over. Okay, let me give you some examples. Ground stew meats, they only last 3 to 4 months in your freezer. We always think that our freezer food lasts forever, but it does not. Roast only lasts 6 to 12 months. Cooked meats, meal dishes, last 2 to 3 months. Bacon, 1 to 2 months. You would think not, because it has so many preservatives in it. Chicken and turkey, whole, last only 1 year. Fish, only 3 to 6 months. So that kind of gives you an idea that things don't really last as long as you really think they are, so you need to go through them. Microwave. You want to clean out your microwave this week, and try to keep it clean. There's nothing worse than when you're trying to put a cup of hot water in your microwave and it has that smell in it because you haven't kept up on it. So you want to keep it clean. Just go ahead and keep it fresh. But you don't want to ever put Windex on a front of a sprayed on that goes back into the pores of a microwave and can wreck your front of your microwave. If you have any spaces above your cupboards, between the cupboards and the ceiling, some of us do have that area, you want to as well take your vacuum cleaner and vacuum that all down, get their kids flying airplanes down, and keep that clean. Because what happens, you shut the back door, and all that airborne dust keeps coming down on your kitchen, and you would be surprised how much dirt can get on the top of those cupboards. So you want to keep those clean, get them cleaned up as well. Light fixtures are another area that can have dust and grease on them, and you want to clean those. Use a degreaser and a warm water solution. Clean your blinds. And lastly, you want to clean your windows. You would be amazed how much cleaner your kitchen will appear to you just by having clean windows. It really can make a big difference. Okay, your cupboards, you want to scrub those down. If they're white, you can always see the goobers that are growing on it, so it's easy for you to see them. But if you have dark cupboards, you can't always see the food that's on there, so you want to scrub those down. Cleaning your porcelain sinks. I, again, use this At Ease product, and it gets them really white. And after I scrub my sink down with this At Ease product, then I take my sponge and I pour a little bit of bleach on it. And I just rub it lightly over my sink, and it gets it spotlessly white. And it's a really good technique. I have people all the time say, how did you get your sink so clean? That's what I do, and it works really well. Stainless steel sinks. At Ease is another product still for those. If you have problems with water spots, baby oil, a few drops of baby oil after you clean it, you just rub that in your sink, and that will help reduce those water spots that come on so quickly with those. Can openers. Can openers are one of the dirtiest places in your kitchen, believe it or not, if you are not one that rinses off your can opener after each use. So, those goobers, once again, grow into that. You open that can of tuna and you don't rinse it off, and then you open up the dog food. I don't know. Whatever you do, you want to make sure that you rinse it off. So, dish soap. You're going to think this lady just keeps going. I use an ivory soap for next to my sink. I do not use bar soaps because they're messy. I like it when I can just have dishwashing soap, and I use it for my hand soap as well. You could get really nice little porcelain soap dispensers. These are for lotion, but you could just put your soap in them, and they look nice in your kitchen window, and you just refill them up. And those are really kind of nice to have. One last thing about cleaning. It can be very fun for everyone. Try to encourage your family to help you out at night after you have cooked the evening meal. In New Zealand, it was like this part of culture there that everybody would pitch in after the evening meal and clean dishes. Men, mom, kids, everybody. And I thought that was always so much fun. Even if we went over to someone's house, we would all do it together. And I loved that because it was just a time that we snapped tea towels at each other, had fun. It was a continuation of us talking after eating dinner. And it still is that family time. And some of your husbands say absolutely not. They're going to go watch TV. But, if you can encourage your family, hey, Mom's worked all day long. I'm tired. Could you just come in and be with me, and let's have a fun, and make it fun. And that could be starting a new tradition in your home and help you out. Okay, a couple more ideas. I use the metal clips that you get at office supply shops for my potato chips or frozen vegetables or whatever needs to be sealed. You know those ones that say plastic, that says for chips, and they're plastic, and they break every other time you use them? Ugh. So once again, I don't like those plastic things. I try to go metal. These will never break on you. You throw them in the freezer, and don't buy the small size because they're hopeless. Get this size that is bigger. They're like $2-3 for 2 of them. I have like 12 of these in my kitchen, and they work perfectly to keep it real tight and keep those items fresh. Use your good dishes more. A lot of times we have good dishes and good dishes and good dishes, and then we have this really cheap and nasty set that we eat off of every single day. Well, the logic behind that is we don't want to break our good dishes, but we never use our good dishes. So what's the point of having the good dishes when you're only using them 1 or 2 times a year? So this is what I recommend. I take my two best set of dishes, and I use those. I'll keep it one for my good, and then my good ones I use every day. And if my kids break it, c'est la vie. It doesn't matter because I am enjoying the things that I have. So many of us do not enjoy the things we have. We have our kids drink out of the plastic cups because we're afraid they're going to break the glass. Well, really, how much do glasses cost in America? Not very much. We have them eat on plastic plates that are all scratched up and ugly. Why? You've made all that effort to cook. Why not eat on something that's nice? And if it breaks, you can go get another set of dishes later. It doesn't really cost that much to use your things. Or your sterling silver. Use it every day. Why is it in that cupboard in, great-grandma's sterling that you use maybe 1 time a year, stores up, and you don't ever get to enjoy it? I use my sterling every single day. I use my sterling teapot every single day. I use my good dishes every day because I want to bless my family with what I have, and I want to enjoy it. And so I recommend if you have couple sets that are really good, get rid of the other ones and use them. Or perhaps you have tons of good dishes and you could bless someone with your excess and give a set of your dishes to someone that's just starting up and give a set to them. Because we usually have so many sets of dishes and we don't really need that many sets, and we keep using the worst of the worst and then we never use the best. So that's my recommendation. Okay, let's switch to market we go. We see that Lady Wisdom is a prepared woman. She's constantly watching over the needs of her household. It is very wise of her to be prepared. She's wise in her, grocery shopping is a way that we say we're blessing our family. We go and do that chore. So grocery lists, like I said, are helpful for this. Again, write down the things that you're getting low on, not what you are out of. So you're continually stocking the items for your family. Also, it helps you not to forget things, when you're running back and forth to the grocery store because you forgot a few items. I know a lot of women that spend a lot of time going back and forth to the grocery store simply because they don't write out a list, and that uses up a lot of your time. And you want to be efficient if you can be. Maybe you might want to plan your meals at the beginning of the week. That might help you. Some of you do that already. So you're buying one at one time for the whole week. You're not going every day. Also, you might want to consider buying in larger quantities so that you're not, if you buy a can of tuna, instead of buying just a couple cans, buy 10 of them. Stock up your pantry. It is so convenient to have that supply there. So when you're making that meal, you have it. And then when you see that it's starting to get low on, not in the cupboard that you're, when it's getting low on, then you just put it on your list. When you go to the market for food safety, you want to shop first for the things you do not eat, such as your paper products. Because sometimes we spend an hour in the grocery store, so it's very important that the things that we're going to be putting in our cart, we're not going to have them out of the refrigerator for a long time. So this is the process that they say that you should use. So you pick up your paper products first. Next, you pick up your non-perishables, like your canned goods or your bottled items. Anything that does not need to be refrigerated, you pick up all those items first. Next, you pick up your refrigerated items such as milk, cheese, or your fresh meat. Last, you pick up your hot cooked foods and frozen items, and you want to make sure that you keep them separate in your trolley cart or your, what do they say in America? Shopping cart. We call them trolleys. I know. It's hard. When you live in another country and you come back to America, you forget what is New Zealand terms and what's American terms. I told somebody that they need to get some clothes pegs the other day, and they said, what? Well, clothes pegs are clothespins, and so, anyways. So you want to keep your hot items away from your frozen items because you don't want to get your frozen items close to, because you're going to warm that cold stuff up. This way, when you're shopping for an hour, your stuff will remain cool, the cool stuff and the hot things hot until you get home. Now, if you're shopping in the summer, don't put your stuff in the trunk of the car, because that way, it has time to really do a couple errands, and all of a sudden your food's all warm that needs to be refrigerated. So it's wise to put it in the car to keep it cool until you can get home and put it away immediately. All right, we're going to talk about kitchen design. Just a little bit more. You want to keep it simple on the counters like we've been saying. You remember that this is your food prep area. Because we spend lots of time in the kitchen, you might want to have your kitchen in colors that you like, that make you feel cheerful. I need to have a really happy kitchen, and so I have it just like I like. So when I go in there, I think, oh, this is kind of cool, but then I realize I have to cook and it's all sad again. I'm painting my picture, me worse than I am, but anyways. Colors can play a lot on your emotions, such as yellow makes you feel much more cheerful when you're in that color, in that environment around you. Red tones actually stimulate your appetite. So when you go to this fine dining restaurants, they're real deep reds and burgundies. The reason they do that is so that your appetite is stimulated. So there's this whole logic behind this. Green tones can be very soothing to you. So whatever color that makes you feel good, consider painting your kitchen in one of these colors. And you might want to not paint the walls, you might want to paint your cupboards or paint them both. Painting the cupboards can be quite a chore, but painting the walls is not a big deal in a kitchen half the time because there's not that much wall space in there, and it can really dramatically change the look in there. And a lot of people are always want to go with the lighter colors. Going rich colors in a kitchen are really, it's neat. It changes the whole feel of your kitchen. Especially, we live in a lot of tract homes anymore, and everything's not a whole white. It's all light oatmeal. And painting a real rich color in your kitchen can make it really feel great. You could use the color of the fabric on your curtains to bring color in if you want to do it that way, or an area rug. Paint is a very inexpensive way to change a look in your house, in your rooms, dramatically. So usually when I go in, if someone cannot afford to do very much, let's just pick out a paint color and paint, and it doesn't take that long, and they really feel like they have a new, fresh look in there. There's lots of wallpapers out that are fun, or how about a nice European faux finish? That's very popular right now and really nice to have done in your kitchen. You have to remember that your home reflects you, so it is important that you go pick out a style that you like. Look through magazines, figure out what you like, and then as you start purchasing items, go towards that style. You don't have to change your whole design of your kitchen at one time. Just start buying the things that you like, your tea towels, all those things, in the colors that you like, and you'll eventually get it all switched over. If you're one to like lots of knickknacks in your kitchen, make sure that you go through your knickknacks as well, and that you at least like them all 70% worth. So if that little rooster clock is sitting on your wall and you really don't like it 70% worth, then go ahead and get rid of it. You're going to pare down your house to everything that you really like. So when you go in that kitchen, you're going to think, I like this. Use your walls to do the decorating, not your counters. Your fruit basket, perhaps your coffee maker, keep it to a minimum. Or you could use above your cupboards, like we talked about. There's that area there, and you could put plants up there and great-grandma's platter or whatever you're going to design your kitchen with. Hang a neat picture on your wall. Perhaps I have paintings in my kitchen, and I like, they don't necessarily look kitchen-y, but they are a taste that I really like, so I put them in my kitchen. If you're a mom with smaller kids, you know the endless supply of artwork that you get every week, and it's all over your refrigerator. Here's an idea for you. You just go down and get a picture frame that you love, and you post their artwork in that. Just get double sticky tape, and it's the feature of the week. And you just put their artwork in the middle of that, and you just change it out weekly. And then you can just put their other old artwork in their memory box, and so you don't have this artwork all over your kitchen because you are trying to display it. And that way they feel like they're little Picassos and they think it's great. If you like a cleaner, streamlined look, it's probably time for you to take all those magnets off your refrigerator and the notes and all those things that you have on your refrigerator. Now, if you like that look, go ahead and go through all your magnets and say, do I like this one 70% worth? You think I'm nuts. But really, go through them all. Go through all your pictures, all that stuff, and clean that off as well, and make sure that you like what's on there. Under-counter lighting is really nice in the kitchen. It can give a real nice ambiance to an evening when you're cooking and you just want that mood in your kitchen. Under-counter lighting is really nice to put in. New knobs or pulls on your cupboards can really give your kitchen another look as well. And they don't have to cost a lot of money, and it just gives your kitchen a different look. Towel bars are great for at the end of a counter or your island. You just go down and get a really nice towel bar, the ones that they have in their bathrooms. Put it on the end of that, put your tea towels on it. That works out great too. Make your kitchen appealing to you. Be creative and change things around and get that paintbrush out. We are going to conclude. All right. We again have a prayer team. If you have needs that you need someone to pray with you about, and you just feel burdened by something, we want to be here for you on that. And there's women here that have a little badge that says, I would love to pray with you. At any time you can stop them and they will pray with you. We care about that part about you. We're just not concerned about your clean closet or kitchen. We care about where you're at emotionally. In the back, we also have the need list. Several people signed up on it. This is not the original. The other one's in the back. Several people signed up on it. The need list is for people that have needs, and if you could perhaps bless someone with your excess and give them or sell them something that you know you're getting rid of and bless them, it's a great way to minister to one another here. Homework this week is spend some time with God this week. Talk with Him as if He's one of your best friends. Learn to just be real and love on Him. Clean out your kitchens and bring me your favorite recipe. I need all the help I can get.